Assalamu alaikum. Today on Neuron Academy, we're discussing the keys of legacy. If you benefit from this, please do support us by subscribing and sharing it as a sadaqah.
Let's start with a really profound and universal truth, something that applies to every single one of us, no exceptions. One day, you will hand over the keys. The keys to your job, your role in the family, everything you have control over. And it's not because you'll choose to, it's because your time will be up.
So that leads to a pretty big question, right? What exactly are these keys? And more importantly, what's our responsibility while we're the ones holding them? Well, Islam has this beautiful way of reframing the whole idea. It's not about ownership, it's about a sacred trust.
And this brings us to the concept of amana. It's central to what we're talking about today. See, everything we think we have, our authority, the opportunities we get, our skills, it's not really ours. It's all borrowed. It's a trust, an amana from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we are absolutely going to be asked about what we did with it.
So what do these keys represent? Well, first off, they're your influence. Think about it. The authority you have in your family, the role you play at work, or your standing in the community. It's that ability you have to guide people, to shape things, to really have an impact.
And it's not just influence. The keys also represent your unique skills and talents, the things you've been blessed with. Those capabilities you've worked so hard to develop, the knowledge you've spent years acquiring. These are basically tools that have been given to you, tools to build with and to serve others.
And finally, these keys also stand for your experience. All that wisdom you've gained through tough times, the lessons you learned from your mistakes, the insights you've picked up over a lifetime. Honestly, this might be one of the most valuable things we have to pass on.
Okay, so now that we have a better idea of what these keys are, influence, skills, experience, we have to ask the next logical question. What's their real purpose? I mean, why are we given them in the first place? And this is where we see a huge shift in perspective. The typical worldly view, right? It's all about becoming irreplaceable. You hoard your knowledge, you protect your position at all costs. But the Islamic view, it's the complete opposite. It's about making sure that goodness, that khair, can continue long after we're gone. So the key takeaway here is that a truly successful Muslim doesn't just hold on to goodness. They're actively working to transfer it, to pass it on. And this isn't some vague, abstract idea. It's really tangible. It means you teach a skill you've mastered. You model a value, like honesty or patience, so others can see it in action. You uphold a high standard of excellence in everything you do. And crucially, you make all of this accessible. You don't keep it a secret. To really bring this idea home, there's this powerful story about a man who just got this. He understood this principle deep down. His legacy wasn't about his job title or his position. It was about the impact he left behind, an impact that completely outlived him. So let's think about this man for a second. He wasn't worried about protecting his own status. He wasn't trying to make himself indispensable. His whole mindset, it was just on a different level. You see, his fear wasn't about losing his job. What he was truly afraid of was leaving a void behind him, failing to pass on the good that he had been entrusted with. He understood that his role was always going to be temporary, but his impact, that could be permanent.
And get this, years after he was gone, long after someone else had filled his position, his methods and his standards were still alive and well. People would still say, "This is how he taught us to do it." That one sentence, that was his living, breathing legacy. Not his name on a plaque, but the good he embedded in others.
And this story just perfectly captures the central theme, doesn't it? Real success isn't about being irreplaceable. It's about continuity. It's when good work, when honesty, when excellence survives without you having to be there to supervise it. It's when people do better simply because you were once in their lives.
Which brings us to probably the most sobering, but also the most important part of this whole discussion. We have to confront the reality of our ultimate accountability for the trusts we were given.
Because there is a day, and it's coming for every single one of us.
The day that you will hand over absolutely everything. Your responsibilities, your influence, your projects that are still halfway done, all of it. It's all handed over.
And on that day, the big question isn't going to be about what title you had or how much you accumulated for yourself. No, the question from our Creator, from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is going to be about what you enabled for others. What good did you make possible? What keys did you leave behind so that other people could open doors of benefit? And that, forces a very personal question for each of us right here, right now. If your time was up today, if you had to hand over your keys this very moment, your skills, your influence, your experience,
What would they unlock? Would they actually open doors of benefit for the people you leave behind? Or would they unlock nothing at all? It's a heavy thought.
So how do we do it? How do we actively build a legacy that actually matters? Well, the path forward is pretty clear. It's a three-step process. First, build your success. Strive for excellence in whatever you do. But, and this is the critical part, don't build it all around yourself. Don't make it dependent on you. Instead, build systems, teach other people, empower them. Build it so the good you started can keep going and even flourish long after you're gone.
This is such a powerful way to redefine what legacy even means. It's not about being missed because everything falls apart when you're not there. The greatest legacy, the real legacy, is making goodness so accessible, so sustainable, that it doesn't even need you anymore to survive.
And really, that's the ultimate goal, isn't it? To live our lives in such a way that the keys we pass on, the knowledge we share, the character we model, the standards we uphold, don't just help people in this dunya. The ultimate success is that they become a means for them and for us to open the doors to Jannah.
Presented and created by Nuran Studio.